Apparently, the Ben and Jerry's comment has caused a kerfuffle. I was unaware that Ben and Jerry's was so dangerous. They're liberals. I don't care. It's ice cream. I don't care where it's from. We have to stop living our lives in this way. We do. It's not healthy, first of all. Let's say that's not healthy. You know, I was talking last night about, Ozzy Osbourne. I don't even know how much he cared about politics one way or another. But when you go to a sporting event, when you go to when you go to any of these things, sporting event, college pros, when you go to a music festival or a concert, you're next to somebody, you're cheering, you're enjoying something. It doesn't matter what the person next to you believes or cares about. It doesn't matter about any of that stuff. You're there because something brought you guys there and you have a commonality. And we need more of that in this country. We need less division and more commonality. I'm watching, the Ozzy's final. I was watching some of his final show. And, you got people that are in their 70s and 80s and they got tears in their eyes. Yeah. And then you've got 12 and 13-year-olds who are singing Mama, I'm Coming Home. And it was, generational. But how many of those people, they went and saw him. And it was a Villa Park in England, Birmingham, close to where he's from. They're right, they're left, they're all of the. It didn't matter. They were there to celebrate somebody and something that gave them great joy. And we just, it's like, I mentioned ice cream, and I'm like, you went to Ben & Jerry's just because you're a flaming communist. I'm like, because I ate ice cream? No, not because I ate ice cream. We all just need to breathe a little bit. I don't know what it is. Think about, I thought about this the other day. In today's climate, I don't think we could. After 9/11, for a while, we were America. We weren't right, left. We were red, white, and blue.
Yep, we were one.
I think in today's world, that never happened.
Yeah. That's a good question, man.
I don't know if it could happen. I don't know if it could. I mean, you're going to find people out there that are flamethrowers and going to say ridiculous thing online. And we're going to actually talk about that in a little bit. But I don't know if we could do that again. I mean, you remember the flags you saw everywhere? People were nicer. They said hi. There was something about afterwards where it wasn't Republicans, Democrats, conservative, liberals. It was just, we need to heal as a nation. We need to come together, and we need to find out who did this. And there was a moment, where you're thinking to yourself, man, we're never getting back to that. I don't think a tragedy would do that like that. I don't think an attack would do that. It would have to, just because. Now, I think you get a lot of the pundits and a lot of the people and the powers that be and the politicians to put away some of their rhetoric for a while. But I think as a nation, especially with the online insanity, I think that'd be tough. Hey, what did Tim Burchett say? Did he say something about kissing ass? He's not good at that?
Yeah, let's see here. Let me go back to this. Yeah, he said, so this is Congressman Tim Burchett speaking on Speaker Mike Johnson's decision to send the House home early for summer recess rather than vote on releasing Epstein files. And this is what Congressman Burchett told WTN's Dan Mandis this morning.
I think it's a bad look, of course. I say we vote it and let's get going. But I'm not in leadership, and I never will be in leadership because, once again, I don't raise the money and I don't kiss enough butt.
That's all it is.
He doesn't kiss enough butt.
No, I mean that is all it is. The Speaker of the House. One of the reasons Kevin McCarthy stuck around for so long is because his money raising abilities were insane.
Oh yeah.
First of all, it's the most thankless job. Especially if you've got a 40-seat lead, it's way easier than when you've got 2 or 3 and you've got a fractured party.
Well, and now it's even slimmer with Mark Green.
Yeah, with Mark Green gone. Now what is it, 1?
It's 219 to 212 with 4 open seats. Ugh. And then you've got you got the fiscal hawks on the GOP side. There's 5 or 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even.
And then that's why Trump is on Governor Abbott in Texas to redraw the districts. So they called that special session. Originally, the special session was supposed to be about the hemp CBD thing because he vetoed it at the last minute.
Yeah.
And then it was going to be about flood relief and what happened because in between, before the session started, that happened. And then Trump made a call and said, you better figure out a way because you can redistrict and get another 4 or 5 seats. And Abbott was like, okay. He didn't. I don't think he wanted to. If you've ever seen, and everybody's like, what's redistricting is gerrymandering. It just depends on what side of the street you're on.
But yeah, both sides do it.
Yeah. If you're on this side of the street and you don't like the way the district's drawn, it's gerrymandering. If you're on this side of the street and you think it's good, it's redistricting.
Yeah.
And some of them, is that's the description
That's
of it.
pretty good.
Some of the districts and the way they draw them, it'll be like, all right, this 12 blocks is yours. Then we skip 4 blocks, and then this park and this area is also yours. What? Because they're trying to squeeze as much as they can. And then, what's his name? Gavin Newsom came out and said, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to do it. And then Slotkin from Michigan came out and said, you know what? If they can't do it in Michigan, because Michigan put in a constitutional change to on their state, that there's a group that meets, bipartisan group that meets, that's independent outside of politicians to make sure the districts are right, because they didn't want that. And they said, no, this is too much, because it got to the point where it was just so awful. And it's, but that's how close this is. That's how worried the likes of the Trump is, that, because the midterms, we tend to kind of say, oh, you guys have too much power. We're going to give some of that back to the other side. So Trump's like, go see if you can drop four new seats.
Nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. Oh, so yeah, that is close. And if you're the Speaker of the House, Johnson, you have to go over and you try to make everybody happy. And when one group doesn't get what they want, their people are like, Johnson should be fired. And then Johnson goes over and he talks to this group and he's like, I'll give you guys that. And then that other group's like, nope, Johnson should stay now. You can't, when you don't have a massive lead seat-wise, you're going to face this over and over again. So we'll see what it looks like. But they're virtually down to about 1 with the fiscal hawks. Man, Burchett, it's not a good look. I mean, we could sit here and talk about Obama and stuff, but the going home and sending everybody home today and not voting on that, not trying to figure out something, and then saying you shouldn't care about that thing from the past, you should care about this thing from the past. You know what? Republicans, Democrats, Americans, we can walk and chew gum. We can do 2 things at once. We could look and make sure, okay, what did Obama do? What did they do? What did this administration do? Let's see what it is. And on the other side, we can look over there and say, what happened here? Who was involved? It doesn't have to be either or. And I don't think it's going to go away when they come back in September. You guys still thinking about that? Yeah, they're still thinking about it. And I've read it, because I read all day, which is a shocker, I know. Several people that I follow say that the MAGA hardcore, the ones who this was a big deal to them, they're going to start showing up at town halls. Burchett just had one. But he did it on the phone.
Yeah, a lot of them do it on the phone now. Well, and a lot of that too is you have some paid actors who show up and just shout you down.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Just have the conversation.
And nobody does. Nobody does. And nobody has the conversation because people are so invested and they've made politics their ideology that and that's who you now identify as. That is your identity. And, it's not, right? Like being a vegan is not a personality trait. It's just something you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are. Same thing with CrossFit people. All right, we get you. By the way, if you ever met a CrossFit vegan, no chance. That's the worst person on earth. But when you make it your identity, everything becomes personal if you don't like what you hear.
Right.
So if you go and somebody contradicts what you're saying, your first response is to lash out, to say something horrible to somebody because you're defending, in theory, yourself. And that's why people can't have conversations. And on the other side, and we're going to get into a little bit, because I watched this. Do you know who Jubilee is?
No.
So Jubilee is a big, I think Twitch is his jam.
Okay.
But he's big. He's like one of those ones where, several million people.
Oh, okay.
Super progressive. But he has this thing where, and you've probably seen bits and pieces of it. They bring somebody into a room and he's going to debate 20 whatever. And so Jordan Peterson, I think Charlie Kirk was there. I think they had, several other people. And they sit in this table and there's 20 people around them. And then they rush and whoever gets to the seat gets to debate the person. And there was one the other night that was so insane. And so it was cringe. And I sit there and I think, is that what we've become? It's like we're just cringe. Because why? Because everybody lives in a world of identity, which I can't do. My identity is me. That's who I am.
I'm me.
That's it, man. That's all we need. I have a tough time being that. I don't need to be anything else, right? I am, people ask me what I do. I'm like, I'm a dad, I got a wife, kids, good life.
Yeah.
That's it. I do this for a living. I have fun. Sally says, I identify as an old, fat, bald man who likes beer.
Sally.
Good for you, Sally. Good for you. Good for you. That's what you identify. I want to get to that point.
Yeah.
But I don't drink beer. But I'm on my way to the other ones. Thank you, donuts. Oh, transfit vegan. Oh, that, yeah. Oh. The vegan people, those are the people who are identity matters.
Yes.
They're insufferable. It's like,
some of them like to tell you.
They've been known to tell you that they have never consumed animal product this century.
Right. I've
never had. I don't care.
Like it's not enough just to order. They got to tell you.
Are you going to eat meat? I am. I'm here to. You know what it is? It's
yes.
it's about balance.
Yes,
right. I'm balancing you. We're getting to net zero when it comes to food, but you know what? At the rate beef is going up, it is insane. Beef is the new eggs.
Yeah,
and you and I have talked about it. We could sit here. You could talk about Obama. You could talk about Epstein. You talk about all those things. You know what's going to decide next year? Where the economy is.
Prices and how much money I've got left over to spend every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And if life is more expensive, if unemployment's gone up and the world's gotten tougher to make a living and to keep up, guess what happens? People make changes and they'll look to blame somebody. And who's ever in power will get that blame. Even if he solves every problem outside of the U.S., that is the only thing that needs to be done here. And it doesn't matter what party it is. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. Always. Coming up, a lot of stuff we're still going to try to squeeze into on this beautiful Wednesday. Find out what the weather's like. A little Swamp Ash report coming up as well. Colbert, people are still out there fighting the Colbert fight. But I'm going to tell you something that him screaming and yelling about it's this or it's that, and all of the people out there still trying to defend that they shouldn't have fired him because it's only because of Trump. You're fooling yourself based on what happened yesterday. We'll talk about that as well. If you missed any show, grab the podcast. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Oh, my God. What is that? A brain-eating amoeba?
Brain-eating amoeba.
It feels like somebody went into a pond.
Yes.
And was having some fun.
You can definitely...
It's like it's summertime fun, and they're in their shorts, and they go out there, and they're having a good time, and they're cutting. The next thing you know, they're in the hospital, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you can find brain-eating amoeba in a pond this time of year.
By the way, breaking news. The grand jury files going to remain sealed for Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what the judge said. The judge goes, no.
We're not releasing those.
Yeah, like who? What? I would love to see a judge do that. Who? Why are we here?
Yeah. Which judge wants to find himself 6 feet under?
Yeah. Why? And why are we here? Because there's no reason for this. There's like no precedent for this. There's no secrets in there, state secrets, no, ticking time bombs for somebody that, if we don't open them, somebody's going to die. It's none of that stuff. So there you go. No files being see, here's the deal. Files were sitting on her desk. And did you hear about like all the porn and stuff?
Mm-mm.
She kind of came out and clarified it. It wasn't really it wasn't kids. It was just weird adult stuff. Now is what you're hearing. So the stories change on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. It's not. So that will not be happening, according to the grand jury. Colbert, as we know, is fired, and he's come out and he said for the next 10 months he's going to let everybody know how he feels about Trump. I wonder what that's going to be like. Wouldn't it be great if he comes out and goes, guys, I've been messing. I love him. He's been like the dude. You know, this is what I had to do. Now that I know I'm not coming back, I should be able to say all this stuff. He's not going to do that.
Man, I'm just worried about, how he's going to move forward from this, man.
I don't know.
What, he get $50 million, as the departing fee?
Yeah. Little parting gift. Thank you so much.
I'm so worried about him.
And when everybody talks about, well, it's wrong, it's the timing, it's all these things, it's a money decision.
Yeah.
And if you don't think they have money, you're fooling yourself, because Paramount signed South Park yesterday. South Park, who, by the way, goes after Trump all the time in hilarious ways. And they've got Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Garrison.
Yeah. Who, do you remember when he became president? He became president of the United States and he was doing what Trump was doing, just saying the craziest stuff and all that stuff. And he didn't think he was going to win. He's like, what? I won? They go after him all the time. But you know what? They make money. At the end of the day, it's a money business.
CBS found whenever he popped off about that lawsuit, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what gave CBS the off-ramp to get rid of it.
Yeah.
They said, okay, boom.
And the fifth, did you hear his joke last night? I think it was, he said, well, 40 million, or I don't know how we're losing 40 million. I mean, 24 million I could see. I don't know where the other 16 million went, talking about the lawsuit. And he's going to hammer CBS too.
Oh, sure.
Why not? But it's a money thing. You have 200 people on your staff. 200 people. That is, even amongst other late night shows, is insane. I couldn't even, 200. How many writers do you need? I have no idea. But
That's
it's about the money.
A lot of people for one show.
For one show. I mean, even my buddy who works, he's a first director. He works in television. He's like, dude, I work on regular television shows that don't have 200 people on it, let alone a late night show that shoots the same place every day. Like, I have no idea. But you go and look at South Park, who also makes fun of Trump. They got $1.5 billion. And here's how the landscape has changed. The original contract was going to be closer to $3 billion for 10 years, but Skydance wanted them signed, and they wanted this lawsuit to be done. And Skydance said, yeah, let's do 5 years only, because we don't know what media is going to look like in 5 years, and everything could change by then. That's how fast things are moving. But they got $1.5 billion. And yes, they poke fun at Trump. And guess what? They're not going anywhere because they make money. And if he was making $50 or $100 million a year, they would never have let him go. Because he is the horse and buggy, and the new media world is the combustible engine. And it just drove by. Ooh. Coming up, some stuff to get to. I want to talk about this crazy lunacy that took place the other night in this wacky debate thing. And just how we got to a point now where I think, honestly, people are going out of the way to do things to get noticed. And it's sad, actually. It's sad that we're in this position. We'll talk about that, among other things. If you're missing the show, we always say, shame on you, grab the podcast. Chad Benson, Super Talk 99.7. Oh, my God, what is this? King Louie, what is that? That was all. This is something Bell picked, right? Bell. It's pretty awful. Can we all admit that?
Why, this music?
Yeah. We apologize for that here. Should have beeped it out. Should dump that. Oh, jeez, Chad. If you guys just didn't hear, No FBI. I mean, no releasing of the grand jury indictment and files and stuff.
Yeah, the judge says she cannot legally do so under laws set by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit.
Yeah, so none. So, and here's the thing. That was all done on purpose. Because they knew they were never going to get it released. So they could say, we tried. We tried. And it didn't happen. Nothing to see here. Move on. Speaking of moving on, so I was telling you guys about this. It is a fascinating, weird thing of this debate. And I like debates, right? I enjoy a good conversation. Screaming and yelling, which is what we have now reduced ourselves to in most cases, because that's the way TV is. We don't want to watch regular things, right? If it's not exciting, we're just like, we're going to move on from it. It's boring. I didn't really like it. That's why reality TV is what it is, which is, 4 women sitting at a table, food fight. They're grabbing each other, wigs are flying. It's lunacy. Somebody slept with somebody's husband. It's crazy. And then just like if we went to a restaurant tonight, if the couple next to you is having a nice meal, you're not paying any attention to them. If they start screaming and yelling, you're going to turn. And we've gotten to that point now where not only do we turn, we film it. So Jubilee is this uber progressive guy, and he brings all kinds of people. He brings left-wingers, right-wingers on. And he brought these people on. They're supposed to be alt-right. And I have to be honest with you guys. I think some of them are actors. I know it sounds weird, but I feel like some of them are actors. I don't think all of them are on the up and up. I may be wrong. They may be this way, but I feel like that they're playing it. You feel like they're playing a part. They're not really telling you how they really feel. And this guy gets into it with Mehdi Hassan, who used to be on MSNBC, and they're arguing over all kinds of stuff. And then they get to the point where they start talking about, he talks about everything from immigration to, and again, they're putting it on. You're supposed to be debating this guy. And, there's a lot of stuff about Mehdi Hassan I'm not a fan of in his politics, but the dude can debate and he knows his stuff. And he starts talking to this guy, and his name is Connor. And Connor and him, Connor starts telling him about all the things that's going to happen in the world that he lives in, where, we're going to have an oligarchy or autocracy. We're going to vote on it, which is weird. And they're going to set the rules. Democrats will never have a chance to vote or do it. It's just bizarre.
And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills, because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats tend to kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt
supporters.
makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that. I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
what about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution and
we
stuff
may
like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad.
this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is on this.
And it was just, he was a wackadoo. He said crazy stuff. They had all kinds of people. And a lot of times they bring people on. There's one guy, honest to goodness, you would swear he was Zorro. He had the Zorro hat on. He had the Zorro mustache. He was dressed in all black. And that's why I kept thinking, this can't be real. And it just devolved into insanity. And that guy got fired. The Connor guy, he got fired. But he raised already $30,000 on a go send, whatever that thing is. And I'm at the point now where I think people are they're craving attention to the point where they say the most outlandish things because people are getting rewarded for it. The quote-unquote cancel culture is different now. cancel culture is a badge of courage that you wear around, and you brag about being canceled and then tell everybody you're a victim and then go out there and raise a ton of money. And we've seen it from a lot of people. They elevate them. And in some cases, people are so ridiculous that they get people fired for the dumbest things. And yeah, okay, I can see that. But a lot of times nowadays, especially, we have turned this into this crazy, bizarre world where saying the most insane things gets you some sort of points within a tribe that's willing to say, yes, that's awesome, because we have to go one step further, one step further, one step further. And nobody cares about facts. Facts be damned. It's who can yell the loudest, who can cause the biggest scene. Nobody's interested in solutions. Nobody ever wants to hear the truth, even if it means it's the truth that you don't. It's none of that stuff. And part of that, and I think a big part of it, is the way that we online interact with one another.
Well, there's a very obvious, I think, and sad reality to that, which is social media has completely gamified our politics and our culture. Mm-hmm. Literally, Twitter was designed like a casino. And so when we are communicating, whether as journalists or as politicians or as members of the public sort of engaging in civic debate, quote unquote, it's all like gamified in a way that is playing on our like neurological structures. It's not. It's actually like incredibly messed up how little we think about what this has done to us, because posting is when you're posting about your personal life, you're posting about politics, you're posting about another human being. We could have an entire conversation about the Coldplay concert when it comes to all of this. But yeah, you're maximizing retweets and likes. That's literally like casino behavior for politics and culture. Sure. And of course, it was inevitably going to change the way that we talk to each other in real life.
And we are addicted to being noticed. A younger generation in particular. And to get noticed now, if everybody's at the same, remember Spinal Tap, right? You raise it to 10, but all goes to 11. You have to do that now, or nobody pays attention to you. That's why nobody's interested in a solution, because everybody's trying to win something that's not real. They're not trying to learn. When you go into a conversation or a debate about anything, you should be wanting to go, okay, I want to learn. I want to figure out, where are you coming from? Have you ever heard my side? Have I heard your side? Because maybe I haven't. Maybe you haven't heard mine. What is the solution to this? If we're having a contract negotiation, no matter what it is, I know there are my must-haves, right? My wants, and a lot of times, we've got that thing where we're going to cross in a lot of ways. Nobody cares, though. For stuff like this, it's about being noticed. That's all it's about. It's about screaming and yelling, and I see it more and more every day. And I hear it every day. I mean, my God, we were joking earlier about Ben and Jerry's, and I had 20 text messages about what a horrible person I am because of Ben and Jerry's. One guy said I was anti-Semitic because I bought Ben and Jerry's. Like, who's that for? What do you get out of that? Did you know? And you know what, Ken? You probably had Ben and Jerry's, so you also hate the Jews. Did you know that you hated the Jews? Were you aware of that?
I had no idea.
No.
But I do like their cookies and cream.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. You know what? I eat vanilla. That's it. I'm kind of a plain.
Just straight up vanilla, huh?
Straight up. I like cookie dough once in a while.
Yeah.
I like cookies and cream, but I'm more just a straight up vanilla. I like to get a naked sundae when I go out, like when I go to the Cheesecake Factory. Naked sundae, which is a vanilla with a little bit of whipped cream on top, and that's it. But yeah, I didn't know that you also didn't like the Jews because you went to ate Ben and Jerry's. I didn't know that was possible. It's just so ridiculous.
Well, I haven't had any in a long time.
It doesn't matter.
So maybe I'm coming around.
Unilever owns them now. What else do they make? What else? Oh my goodness.
Don't they make soap?
I think they do. I feel like they make stuff that goes inside bathrooms. Now we need to find out what Unilever makes, because now we need to know what else we may have used in their world where we could be in trouble. Consumer packed goods. All right. What else do they make? Oh, no. If you've used Purcell or Axe. Oh,
Axe.
you hate the Jews.
I got to give me some of that axe.
Axe. You know what? Speaking of smells yesterday, I swear I walked by this couple and the guy had Drakkar Noir on.
What's that?
Remember Drakkar from the 80s, that smell? It was like everywhere. It was either Polo or Drakkar.
Oh, Polo. I remember Polo.
Yeah,
Good
Polo.
grief, man.
Man, Polo.
People would put way too much of that.
Way too much Polo on. See who makes Polo. What are they about? Oh, goodness me. I'm telling you, you just can't. And we're going to talk, everybody wants, let's talk. Why aren't you talking about Obama? We'll talk about Obama. I want you guys to tell me what you think is going to happen. Because I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. Nothing. And if anybody does get in trouble, it's going to be people that are going to be sacrificed down the food chain, if that at all. Tell me what crime you have. Because I've had several of you reach out and you're telling me this is what they did, this is what they did, and none of you are even syncing up in the same there, if you will. I was listening to you during your newscast, Ken, because I do listen.
Yes, sir.
And that girl, is it the sister?
Kaylee, the sister of Kaylee.
Yeah.
Gonclaves.
Gonclaves. That right there was so stinging because he thinks he's so brilliant.
Right.
And to come out and say that he's stupid and he's not special and he's very average and all that, that right there probably had the most stinging thing he has heard out of all of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact that we're talking about the Idaho murderer. We're talking about the fact that he thought he was brilliant. He had that ego, like you said, sociopath, but also some weird, kind of thing that he would have been the perfect hitman for the military because he didn't have any emotions.
Right.
And
he fancies himself as smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, that's it. And that right there, I feel, kicked him in the grundle harder than anything else.
They should pipe her saying that into his cell 24/7.
24/7. That's it. Good morning, good night, good afternoon. Here's your whatever her name is, Gabby or whatever.
Here's Olivia.
And just eat his soul up every single day. Every single day. Coming up, a lot of stuff still to get to. Got some of your text messages. Love hearing from all of you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're missing the show, we always say, shame on you. Grab the podcast. It is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.